Okay, so you've went to Monoface, you've created some characters, crazy looking characters, normal looking characters, doesn't matter. You've made up a name and a short bio for each one of your characters. And so right, at this point you have 5 characters. They're not related, they don't know each other until now. Now we need to think of a way that these 5 random people cross paths somehow. Alright? So I've got 2 for the purposes of this example, but what you're going to do is you're going to go to File, New, Blank Document. And we're going to do some brainstorming, because in this assignment we're going to write a who did it type of mystery, where we have our 5 characters and one of those characters knows more than the other ones. One of those characters are involved, and we'll get a little bit more into that in a second here. But let me show you how to lay out your paper for brainstorming. So we're going to use our centering button up here, and we'll write brainstorming. Let's kick up the size to about 28. Press enter. Move our cursor back to the left. Let's go back down to about 16. And to make a numbered list, you just click on numbering, because every time you'll hit enter, it'll keep creating the list for you. So that's what numbering does. And the first part of our brainstorm is the scene. Basically, what are the reasons, what possible reasons could these 5 random people be together? So for example, maybe they're on an airplane, they're all on the same airplane, or a bus or a subway, they're all traveling somewhere together. Maybe they're shopping at the same store, or maybe they're at a wedding, they have a mutual friend and they're all at the same wedding. Okay. So to start putting down your ideas of the scene, or where your story is going to take place, where these 5 random people are going to cross paths, you're going to press enter, and it's going to want to give you a number 2, but if you press tab, it's going to give you another option. And instead of using A, B, C for my tabs down here, I'm just going to press the bullets, and that's going to let me do bullets. So so the scene, let's say in an airplane, maybe at a wedding. I don't know why I'm capitalizing, it's not important. At a wedding, maybe shopping. Guys, this is brainstorming. We're not looking for perfect grammar or spelling or anything like that, so don't worry about that. Maybe on a roller coaster. Alright. Now, the next thing we're going to do is going to press enter twice, and that'll kick us back out here to our numbering. If it doesn't, for some reason, if you enter twice and that 2 doesn't appear, you can just go and click back up here at the numbering again, and that'll make it 2. So okay, so for number 2 here, we're going to write the mystery. So something bad is going to happen in one of these situations. So something bad is going to happen, and like I said, one of our guests, or one of our characters, is going to be in on it. So for each one of these scenes that we chose above, what is something bad that could happen there? So I'm going to press enter and tab, and it should remember that you like bullets instead of the small lowercase letters, so you don't have to do anything. But if not, you can click the bullet button up here again. So for in an airplane, in fact, let me just, to save time, paste one that I've already done. So in an airplane, a crazy person has a bomb. That's something bad that can happen. For a wedding, a bride is missing. At the shopping mall, maybe someone's kids get lost, and somehow your characters can meet together trying to find it, or one of your characters might be involved in the missing kids somehow. Roller coaster, you get stuck at the top of the hill, and somebody's in on it. Okay. To get to the next part, you're going to press enter twice. And here, for number 3, we're going to figure out the antagonist, or the bad guy. So, for the antagonist, you want to give everybody a motive. A motive means a reason to do something. So, you're going to give, in a good who did it, if you think about movies that keep you on the edge of your seat trying to figure out who did it, everybody, the main characters in the story, they all usually have a reason that they could possibly be involved. So if I'm going to go with the wedding situation up here and say the bride is missing, I need to go back and look at my characters and think about what could be each character's possible motive. And so if I go back and look at my Amanda Watson character, it says she's 22 years old, kind of grumpy because she recently broke up with her boyfriend of 5 years. Okay, so I could give her a motive that perhaps the groom is her ex-boyfriend. So let me go back to my document here. So I put Amanda. Her motive is the groom is her ex. Okay. If I look at Andrew, you know, I don't really have anything, but I can still make it up, you know. I can just say that maybe he's known the bride for a long time and he has a crush on her. He had a crush on her for several years. So let me go ahead and come over and fill that out. So Andrew is his name. Andrew has had a crush on the bride ever since he first was on her in the 2nd grade. Until one day in high school, she rejected him. Alright, so they both have a kind of a good motive, you know. He used to have a crush on her, but she rejected him. Maybe he never got over her, and that's why the bride is missing here. Okay. We're gonna go to enter next. And here we're going to choose our protagonist. Okay. Or we could say the good guy. The one who's going to figure it all out. So remember, up here for our antagonists, they all have some type of motive. They all know something that no one else knows. So if the bride is missing, they're all, one person is involved, but they're not saying just yet. And that's kind of the purpose of your story, is to, you know, eventually figure out, you know, have people guessing who that person is. So the protagonist or the good guy. So protagonist or good guy. Here you want to make kind of people, you know, give your reader something that they can relate with. When you get to your protagonist, your good guy, your hero, make people like him. And I've just wrote something for the purpose of time. I'll just copy and paste what I've already written ahead of time. So, so if Amanda Watson, you know, she'd be the obvious bad guy, right? If you introduce her in your story and say that her ex is she's heartbroken, and her ex is the one getting married, she might have a reason, you know, and people might automatically think. So she might be the obvious one, but it turns out, you know, her heart was broken. but she still wants the best for X, and she would do anything to help him. So she's the type of person that everyone come to with their problems. So maybe she turns out to be the hero of the story. Okay. Or Andrew, he grew up with the brides very close. He's an intelligent person, right? But he's upset that he always seems to get himself in the middle of crazy situations. For example, he once got lost and drove his car into the middle of a gang fight. He was able to get out of the situation by pretending he was a movie director looking for real-life criminals to star in his next action movie. So this is giving you an insight into the type of person that Andrew is, that he's creative and he's able to get out of sticky situations. So maybe he's a good one. Maybe he'd be a good person to be the hero of my story. Okay. And the last part that we're going to do in our brainstorming is the supporting characters. So where does everybody else fit in? How do they come into the scene together? So maybe we've chosen who our protagonists and our antagonists are going to be. How does everybody else come into the story and support each other? So in this way, you're going to be able to create a scene where these folks all somehow get in the room and you're able to tell a little bit about each one of your characters. So if I was to say maybe the police came to the wedding, came and questioned people row by row, and all my characters are sitting in the same row. So all my characters sitting in the same row, and maybe they get taken into like a little room, and at that point I can kind of introduce, a little bit about each one of the characters and start building the suspicion right then and there. So maybe my story takes place in the questioning room at the police station about the wedding. All right. So this is what brainstorming does. That just popped into my mind, and I can start going from there. And that's what I want you to do. So for your brainstorming session, you're going to do these 5 areas: the scene, the mystery, the antagonist, the protagonist, and the supporting characters. And I think that's going to give you enough ideas to start going and creating your story, which we'll do in the next part of class. So hopefully I've laid everything up for you, and if you have any questions on how to do the bullets, just pause and rewind, or see me in class.